Hello friends. So yesterday market was in a very tight range and it was excellent day for us to trade. And yesterday we put in a non-directional trade. It could have been for you a strangle or a straddle, both in the short positions. So the first thing that I told around 10:40 approximately over here, that market will not go out of the range today. Market is going to be a very range bound day, and it worked perfectly in that format. At no point of time market went more than 250 points away from 35,650. So one of the important pivot lines I told yesterday was it is 35,650. So the logic behind why I consider 35,650 was there was two uh, tops that happen, double tops that happen on this range, and market jump from bottom to that range only, and the first candle also made something around that range only. So it gave me a confirmation that even though market fell extremely yesterday, but still it was in the range where the double top happened. So whenever I find that there is a double top plus there was the opening, it is a very important zone for that day. And I considered that if market has to move away, it will move very sharply. But I didn't find any signs in the market that told that it would be doing any directional trade. Even though there was a huge gap up from 30 35,000 to it opened directly 460 points above, but I didn't find much to be done through the day that told me that market is gonna go on a ballistically on either of the direction, either up or down. So I consider 35,650 as my important point where I could be taking all my trades. So once that happened, what I did was I started seeing how the market works. So once it made a top and just started coming down, I considered markets day high as an important pivot. And if market would have came back up till here, I would have been ready to take a long trade. But market didn't came up nor it came down. The second logic behind taking the pivot on the bottom side was that there was a price action day top of day before yesterday, that was of 14th. Then there was the M pattern that formed that gave us an understanding that this is an important point, and it was approximately near the first candle's low, and that is how I took this pivot point. So these pivot points worked excellent for us yesterday. So we took a trade approximately 10:40 around here, and I told when I made this price action pattern that is a flag one, that whole day was a big flag. So from bottom to top, this could be a flag. This could have been from flag, top flag, and directional. So this is one of the continuation patterns that happens in the market in the charts. When we consider continuation, so it means that market will move on the same direction which it was proceeding before it entered in a zone, or before it entered in this pivot points or this channel. So I generally trade in channels. So even though I trade in channels, sometimes I do draw this kind of patterns. So this was a pendant pattern, but even though there was a huge candle over here, it didn't bother me much because it didn't show any much momentum over here. The RSI momentum didn't show much of a difference while going up. Even though it went up, it didn't show much momentum over here. So it gave me a confirmation that I chose a right pivot point to consider where the prices would be coming back again. So I took a trade that told what is been happening in the market. So around 35,650, I took a trade of short strangle and kept my premium at 134, 135. something like that on the both the direction. So I shorted call and put on both the direction for 134 and 135. So market was still going up and down on the both the direction, and it showed big shoots of candles which would have been dangerous for us to take on the directional trade, or we would have taken directional trade and made loss. We would have bought any call or put if it would have gone, if would have gone up, we would have bought call. But as it was Wednesday, it would have made such a nuisance for us, cause there would have been theta decay, and VIX also came down yesterday. So even though VIX came down, the whole of the gist was that even though you go up and down, you wouldn't have made much money in the call buy or put buy. So that's why we took a non-directional strategy, that is, either you could have taken a straddle or strangle, but we took a strangle which had premium of 134 to 137 on call and put side. So we kept on, we held our strangle till approximately over here. So what I was planning over here was, if it breaks this range and it jumps away, it could have been a big spike over here. So I would have closed my short call position and let my short put position run. But it came down again, and we closed our position around here yesterday. So we made a decent amount of money. I believe around zero point 0.5, zero point 0.5 or 0.6% of our portfolio. So that could be considered as a win when everyone was getting triggered with their stop loss or was not going anywhere by taking a directional trade. And if you would have considered that today market showed so many big candles and you still hold on to your trade, it was a big win, big win in the part of the psychology. So I even put in trades, sorry, I put in uh, shorts on YouTube which told that you should avoid taking directional trade today. I've linked uh, the video over here. You can come and see on the right top. You can get an understanding how I post shorts throughout the day when the market is trading, and it tells you what I am trading, what I am doing. But while taking any trades by watching that, I will always prefer that you do your own research. Once you do your own research, you can just use my shorts as a way of understanding what is my outlook on the total market, and what I would be considering important pivot points, what are the pivot points for me for the day, and what is my outlook for the day. Should I take a directional trade or should I take a non-directional trade? So this happened, and once we see what happened in the Bollinger Bands and the moving averages, you can see it came from bottom to up and continuously throughout the day. This is a Bollinger Band which has 20 moving average. This is a VWAP, red one. This red one is 5 MA, pink one is VWAP. You could see that VWAP was just going around the 20 MA. So this also made me a confirmation that I should avoid directional trading. It didn't give me much of a confirmation where should I go, what should I do, or where should I take a trade on the directional part. And all the time, whenever the market was moving on either of the direction, it constantly came back to 20 MA. That was approximately, this is a futures chart. Here you could see a good should where it have been considered a directional trade movement, but you could see over here it shot up, but it didn't come near our pivot point where we would have considered a directional move. I do not take a direction move if it is within this channel. I believe that market respects this channel or these zones, and these zones act as a pure blessing for you not to take a losing trade in the directional part. So this happened. So for what happens today? So for today's prediction, what I believe is that if the market opens in the directional format, in, let's say, if the market opens directionally, may it be Japan, may it be South Korea, if it shows green patterns in the chart, we believe, or I believe, that market would continue this trend up very vigorously. So this could be the zone where it could jump and see what would happen. So if market opens directly above, I expect it to above open above, let's say it is 750 to around 500 over here. So around 750 points. So market would jump again 750 points. So what's the logic behind that is, whenever the market is in flag and pole, this is pole for the market. Everything from here to here you can consider as a pole, and this is the flag. So market generally jumps approximately whatever is the yesterday's high or the pole length above that. So I believe same thing will happen today from here to here, and you could see a big spike. If it doesn't work in that fashion, we will let it open at least 35,807 above, and if it is below this, we would consider 35,400. We will consider short till where? Till at least 34,900. So if market jumps over here and comes around this zone, this is something that I am predicting, but I do not give you an assurance that market will come over here. Market could go anywhere. Market is the king of its own way, and you do not fight with the market. You see what happens in the market and you trade according to the market's will and direction. If it wants to go up, you take a trade which helps it to go up, helps your account to go up. If it wants to go down, you take a short and help your account to go up. You do not fight the market. If market opens flat and just shows us some green shoots about here, I would be taking a directional uptrend uh, trade. If it goes below 35,400, I would be taking directional downside trend. And if I see that it is flowing around in this arena, I would be taking directional short strangle or straddle. And if either of these directions are breached, I would be cutting off my short position for that direction and let opposite side direction position to follow. If it goes up, I will cut short straddle strangles position of short call off and let my put run. As it is expiry, I expect that there is gonna be huge theta decay. So approximately around uh, 2 o'clock you will see most of your theta decay happen, and the premiums would be very low later on. So let's see what happened. So it was a good start for Japan market and as well as for South Korean market, and other also ended up in the green shoot yesterday. Nasdaq went about 498 points above, and S&P was also around 2 point above. So it was a green day yesterday. The early markets also are up right now. So even though these are the signs that it could be a good trend, we would be waiting for SJF Nifty what it does. But I will not consider that you should look around for that. Just focus on price action. Price action will give you an understanding what is happening in this market for your market. May it be bank nifty, may it be nifty, you will get a good understanding about it. Do not keep on running and looking over here through the day what is happening. You can just consider that UK, what happens in FTSE or UK 100. If it opens around 130, if something huge happens over there, there could be a spike on either upside or downside, which will be a directional trade again for us. So that strategy I would be sharing in shorts. If the market, I find market is going to be directional and we would be buying a very risky trade, it would be a very risky trade, or approximately around 1 or 2 p.m. of the market, and we would be expecting it to go zero. Whatever premium you would be buying, we would be expecting it to go zero, or it could make you multifolds of return. It would be a multi-bagger option trading strategy for today itself. So if you have an appetite to take a risk, you should take that trade, or you should avoid it directly and follow the normal trades that we take, or the generalistic trade that I will give. And you can consider your research as the paramount. Do not consider my research, or do not take trade directly based on my shorts. You can see my yesterday's short. I will put a link over here. You can just click and verify how my shorts directed through the day, what was my thought process yesterday, and I keep posting throughout the day. It might help you. Okay, that's it for today. Let's see in the live market. Okay, thank you. And please subscribe to the channel, like the video, it helps me a lot. And if you have any comments to pass on, you have a comment section that welcomes you. And if you have any query, you can post it over there. I will also take a look into it and give my feedback according to my knowledge. Okay, subscribe, like, share. See you in the live market.